So another tragic story of a murder in Mexico, this time of 3 foreigners, 2 Australians, 1 American who'd gone surfing and were disappeared, and their bodies were found in a well with bullet wounds. So I'm gonna break down what we know about this case, the implications of this case, and also what we don't know, why there are questions here about motivations or about facts around this murder. Now, with any of these tragic killings, you know, my heart goes out to the family. Can't imagine what they're going through, the loved ones. You know, these are human lives that are gone, and I feel totally for you. So what are the facts here? So 3 people, 2 Australian brothers, Callum Robinson, 33, Jake Robinson, 30, both from Perth, Australia. Callum had gone to live in San Diego. He was a lacrosse player, saw opportunities there. His brother Jake had come to visit him, used to work in hospitals around Australia, and they were with a friend of Callum's, Jack Carter Road, 30, worked in tech in San Diego. The 3 of them were surfers. This area there, beautiful area known as La Bocana in the Santo Tomas, south of Ensenada. So to get a sense of where this is, Baja California is a state in the northwest of Mexico, south of Tijuana. So from San Diego, you're crossing Tijuana, you're in the state of Baja California. Keep on going, you're going to hit Ensenada, and then south of there, some very beautiful but very remote surfing places like this beach of La Bocana in Santo Tomas area. Their plan was to go there, then they were going to stay in Rosarito in accommodation and head back to the US. They went out of contact on the 27th of April, and friends, family were concerned, raised the alarm. People headed to Mexico to join in the investigation. They reported disappeared. The FBI also got involved, so there was international pressure on this case. Now, it's sad to say that in Mexico there's more than 30,000 murders a year. There's more than 100,000 outstanding disappearances, and most of them never get solved. So about 90% of murders in Mexico are never solved. This one with international pressure, and this has been pointed out, when there are foreigners involved, there's more international pressure to come up, to find the bodies and to arrest suspects and to prosecute people in these cases. On May the 4th, these bodies were located in a well about 6 or 7 kilometers from where they were last seen, or where their last whereabouts were confirmed on a campsite around this beach of La Bocana. About 6-7 kilometers away they found this well, and about 25 meters down they found the bodies. Took about 24 hours to excavate them, these bodies from the well, and they were found there with bullet wounds. Now, they'd arrested 3 people prior to finding the bodies. These 3 suspects are Jesus Gerardo Garcia Cota, who has been named as being directly involved in the disappearance, Christian Alejandro Garcia Cota, his brother, and a girlfriend of his, Ari Giselle. Now, they were found with the 2 brothers, were found with crystal methamphetamines on them. And Ari Giselle was also found with a cell phone belonging to one of the deceased, one of the victims of this case. The prosecutor gave a press conference on the Sunday. The state prosecutor for Baja California gave a press conference on the Sunday, May the 5th, where she said that this appeared to be a robbery. She was keen to not implicate the whole tourist industry, and they were not attacked because they're tourists. She said they were not attacked because they were tourists. The intent was to steal their vehicle. So her theory put out was that the criminals went to steal the vehicle or even the tires of the vehicle, which was a Chevrolet Colorado pickup. To steal the vehicle, the tires, and then the surfers resisted the robbery, and after resisting the robbery there was shots fired, they were killed, they took them away quite far away to this well, and they actually threw them in the well and then covered it up with plyboard, kind of wooden boards above to kind of cover up, people wouldn't find it there, but they were discovered. Now there are some things, she said this was a line of investigation, she was a bit careful, kind of caged her words here. When asked if it was to do with organised crime, meaning cartels, drug cartels, which are very, very powerful, she said that's not the primary line of investigation, but it's not been discarded completely. She thought it was more about a robbery gone wrong. Now, there are some questions here. One question, the big question, which the authorities haven't explained, is how they found these suspects so quickly, or found them. How they found them. I mean, there was several days there, but were they simply going around nearby, stopping people, searching them, and found the cell phone that way? That would surprise me if they got lucky that way. And one thing, knowing Mexico, I've been reporting in Mexico for 23 years, reporting on organised crime and violence, and been to every state in the country exploring a lot of these kind of issues, is that a lot of the time the cartel figures or the local police, who are very entwined, will have a good scape of local criminals. And if a crime like this happens, they will know. Now I say local police and criminals are often very entwined here, so they have that same kind of intel. Okay, what do we know? Word goes around, who killed these foreigners? There's pressure on us. Where are they? Let's get them. So that's one thing. They haven't explained how these people were located. Now, they haven't said there's a confession given by these suspects or any of the suspects. But the way that the prosecutor talked with quite confidence about this story, it was a robbery gone wrong, implies there was some kind of confession given there. Or else, they're putting some kind of case which is perhaps more convenient to prosecution. But it was quite exact that they went in there, there was tried to rob, the Australians and the American resisted, and that's why they shot them. Seems kind of quite specific if you've just got the suspects and you've got the bodies. Now, another thing which maybe is a bit funny in this case is the vehicle. If it was a robbery of the vehicle, you think they might have sold that vehicle or something, but the vehicle was found burned out. So, how does that add up? How come the vehicle was burned out? Or was it a case where if there'd been any kind of robbery, then again the powerful people in the area, which is often police entwined with cartel figures, will say, well, we're going to have to hand in these people who did this. Some people who are familiar with these violence in Mexico will remember the murder and kidnapping of four Americans. 2 of them were killed, 2 of them survived, and afterwards the people involved in that were handed in to the police. Was there anything else happening in this kind of way? And this idea of kind of going there, robbing tires, people coming, you shoot them dead, seems a lot to kill people over tires. There's still some big questions there. We have to watch this case. Are these people going to be prosecuted for the murder? Even when people are arrested, prosecution rate is very low in Mexico. They'll often prosecute people for other crimes, not exactly the murder, because it's very hard actually to prove cases within the Mexican judicial system. So like they have them for drugs, they have them, because they do them for organised crime, saying there are some kind of robbery ring or something. If they can't tie everyone to the murder, but we'll see how this case proceeds. Now, this case again, it gets back to this issue of there's been huge amounts of murders in Mexico, and sadly a lot of them are not solved. When foreigners are killed, it tends to be bigger news, and this obviously affects, you know, a lot of people are interested, a lot of people in America or Australia, the UK are interested because they come to Mexico. They go on these kind of surfing trips, and they're concerned that could happen to them. And the Mexican authorities are thinking, well, we don't want a big alarm on tourism. There's, you know, tourism is bringing 30-40 billion dollars a year of foreign country to Mexico. So you have these issues there which come up, and there's obviously a lot of people saying, you know, responding to this on social media, don't go to Mexico, this is terrible, these kind of things happen. Some last reflections on that. I mean, this is very sad. It's a particularly complicated state. One thing, you can look at different murder rates within Mexico. I do have a map there I've shown of where different places where you see more dangerous places, more violent places within Mexico, and safer places like Mexico City, where I am right now, like places like Yucatan. And there are many millions of people who do visit Mexico without these problems, but they do, no, they can happen. And there was another case of 2 Australian surfers again killed in Sinaloa several years ago. So the Australian press are definitely seeing kind of pattern there. One, you know, last word to the families. The parents released a statement. Callum and Jake are beautiful human beings. We love them so much, and this breaks our hearts. So really, my heart does go out to them, and just hope for a future where this level of violence does not continue. Thanks for watching this video. If you wanna check out more of my work, please go to www.crashoutmedia.com. You can see loads of stories, info there about the world of organized crime, drugs, Mexico, wherever this trail leads. And if you want to support my work, you can subscribe there for just $5 a month, about the cost of a couple of pints of beer. All best. Stay well, stay safe, stay free.